Welcome back, mathematicians. Today we're going to go ahead and review and get ready for our Module 5 Topic C test. That way, when it's your turn, you can shine. So we're going to go over this. If you don't have the TPT worksheet, make sure you download it by clicking on the link. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, go ahead and if you haven't done so already, put your name and the date at the top of your worksheet. I'm going to go ahead and do the same. Okay, now that I've written my name, make sure you do the same. If you need more time, go ahead and pause the video. All right, so let's focus on question 1 first, which is here. Okay, it says, which fraction does the point on the number line represent? So on your actual test, you are going to see a number line that looks something like this. And it's going to have a plot point. And you're going to have to figure out what fraction that entails. So before I even do that, I need to figure out what they have partitioned my whole into. Now the whole is from my 0 all the way to my 1, right? But I need to know what they partitioned it into. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks like this one, they've partitioned it into 6, right? And now that I know what my 6 are, now I can go ahead and write my denominator here because all of them are going to be 6, right? And then I start at my I start at my 0, and my 1 6 is my first hop, not right here, right? So I have 1 6, 2 6, 3 6, and I stop here because that is where they put their plot. And that is how you would do number 1. So first you need to figure out what they partitioned it into. That's your denominator. And then you're going to count the hops until you get to that plot. Okay? Now we have number 2. And number 2, it says partition the interval into equal parts. Label 2 6. So now it's telling me to partition it. And what I need to focus on is that denominator number. In this case, it's 6. So I need to break this up into 6. Now, it turns out that both of these were 6. On your test, it might not be the same. So please pay attention, okay? So if I'm going to do 6, I need to break it up into thirds first, right? So in order to do thirds, my middle point is here. So I kind of move to the side. And you're just going to try your best to be as accurate as possible. Of course, we're human. We're not going to be exact, but at least we can try our best, right? So here I have three parts, but I need 6. So I'm going to say break these up in half. And now I should have 6, correct? And I'm going to just double check. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. And it wanted me to do 2 6. So let's start from the 0. We can do 1 and 2. And it's right here. So I'm going to put my plot. And then it told me to label. So I have to put my fraction there too. So there's my 2 6. And that's how you would do number 2. So first, look at the denominator. In this case was 6. So you're going to partition your whole into that denominator number. In this case, like I said, was 6. And then you're just going to hop from the 0 from the numerator amount. So I did 2 in this case because it gave me 2 6. Okay, so for number 3, you're going to see it on 2 different pages. I just put it on one sheet for the review, but on your test, it might be on 2 different pages. So just keep that in mind. Bryce measures the length of several ribbons. So it looks like Bryce is measuring a different amount of ribbons. He uses the measurement to make a line plot. This is his line plot, okay, right here. Right here. Let me get my marker pen. Okay, this is what he creates. Okay, so right now I just want us to focus on this. This top part just tells me the title. It says right here, length in inches. So all of these are measurements, okay? So all of these fractions are how long a ribbon could have been. But only those with X's were actual ribbons. For example, it looks like there are 2 that are 4.5, 2 that were 4 3/4, 3 of them that were 6 inches, 2 of them that were 6 1/4, and 1 of them that was 7. Okay? So because this is what he's already found, this is his line plot, right? And here it looks like Bryce measures 1 more ribbon. So your job is to find out first how long this 1 more ribbon is. So we're going to measure it. And in order to measure it, first I need to find my whole number, right? So I can see it's in between 4 and 5. So I know it's going to be 4. And then it actually stops right here at the halfway point. So I know that's going to be 4 1/2, right? So what I have to do down here is I have to look at these 3 options and see which one of these 3 is simply adding this 4 1/2. So if it's 4 1/2, I just need to find one, right here. 4 1/2. I just added. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the one that has 3 on 4 1/2. Okay? Well, that one's not going to be it. It doesn't even have 1 on 4 1/2, so that can't be right. Nope. Yes, I think this one's just a little moved over to the side. This is only one with the 3, so this one has to be it. Okay? So you just have to mark it on the original one and see which one matches. So that's your job. Okay, question 4 says, Mrs. Thomas's class wants to measure the length of several rectangles. This is going to be 2 parts. So first let's focus on part A. Measure and record the length of each rectangle to the nearest 1/4 inch, okay? So all we have to do first is to measure, okay? So let's measure this first one. So first, I want to find my whole number. I see it's in between 2 and 3, so I know we're going to keep the 2. So I'm just going to start with my whole number right there, 2. And these are 1/4 inches, right? I know that this is a half. You could label it if you wanted. So this is a half right here. We know that, okay? And then this is going to be a 1/4. I know it's a little challenging for me to write it, but I'm just going to put it right at the top here. So if this is 1/4, 1/2, what's this one going to be? 3/4, right? And in this case, this is 2 3/4. Okay, that 3. Let's fix that. Okay, let's do this with, and they're all going to follow that same. So my number lines, when it's the whole inch, we have the half, which is a half, right? Okay, let's say this is 0 and this is 1. And then here and here we have, what's this one? That one's 1/4. So 1/4, 1/2, then we have 3/4. Okay? So let's do this one. So my whole number is 1. And, I see it's right in the middle, so that's 1 1/2. Okay? And let's find my whole number here. I see 2. Ooh, and that one's exact. So 2 and nothing, but 0 there, okay? And let's see what we have here. I have 1. Oh, that's another half. 1 1/2. So it looks like my rectangles are 2 3/4, 1 1/2, 2 inches, and 1.5 inches, okay? Now, you're going to need these measurements for the next part, okay? So you have to do this part in order to do part B. Okay, now I'm on part B. You have the ability to just look at your answers right on the same page, but because I'm doing it on the computer, I don't have that liberty, so I just copied it and it's here on the screen as you see here. So part B says use the measurements from part A to complete the line plot. So now you have to create your own line plot, okay? So all you have to do, so here we have 2 3/4. So I'm going to look for 2 3/4 on the line plot. Oh, it's right there. I'm just going to put an X there because that's this one, right? Finish that one. My next measurement is 1.5. So again, I'm looking for oh, here it is, 1.5. Mark it right there. And since I'm done with that, I just put a little check there. All right, 2. Now this is just 2 inches. So I just got to find my 2 inches right there. And my very last one, oops, is 1.5. So let's look here. Oh, I already had a 1.5. So all I have to do is place it right on top. Okay, and that's how you do part B. So you have to do part A and find your measurements first, and then you're simply going to put an X for each one of those measurements. Okay, question 5 says, use the number lines to decide whether each statement is true or false. So here's where we're looking for our equivalent fractions, okay? So it says, is it true or false that 2/6 is equal to 1/3? Now remember, when we're looking for equivalent fractions, we are looking for those fractions that share the same tick mark. And so we can see it better. I like to just circle them because they share the same tick mark. If they are in the same circle, then they are equivalent. If they are not, then they are not equivalent. Okay, they are not equal. All right, so let's find 2/6. 2/6. Oh, it's right here. And it says 1/3. Yeah, 2/6 is equal to 1/3. So that would be true. Okay, let's try another one. 4/6 is equal to 3/3. So I'm going to find my 4/6 here. 4/6, it's right here. Is it 3/3? No, it's 2/3. So that would be false. That's not true. Okay, and then we have 2/3. Let me find my 2/3 right here. Is it equal to 3/6? No, it says it's equal to 4/6. So that is not true. That is false. Okay, and that's how you would do number 5. So my recommendation would be just to circle the equivalent fractions just so you can just compare it from there. All right, we've made it to the very last one. So 6 also has 2 parts that you'll have to go through. You'll have to do part A first in order to help you for B. It says use the number line for part A and B. Part A, complete the number line. So it looks here that they have used one number line to show 2 different fractions and equivalent fractions at that. So what we are going to need to do, let's look at the top first. So it looks like the tops, they've broken up into thirds, right? So thirds are up here. But one thing I know about my denominators is that they're going to stay the same, right? So I could start by simply putting my denominators because those are going to stay the same. Okay, so there are my denominators, right? This is 0/3. This is also going to be a third, and we end with 3/3. So let's just up count my fractions. I have 0/3. Well, then I know that I'll have 1/3. I have 0/3, 1/3. What would this one be? 2/3. And then I just double check. I have 0/3, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. That's correct. I'm not missing any. Now I'm going to do the same thing for my bottom here. Now, if you notice, what is the denominator of these? Well, these are all going to be 6s, right? Because they've broken them up into 6s. So all my denominators are the same. I know that they've broken them up into 6 pieces, which is why all my denominators have 6 here. Now I'm ready to put my numerators, right? So here it's 0 thirds. So I know that this is going to be 0, 6. So I have 0, 6, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, and 6, 6. Okay, we're there so far? Now, just like I've said before, I think it's a lot better if we circle our equivalent fractions, the ones that share a tick mark. That way you can see it a lot better. So all of these that we're circling, they are equal to each other. Okay? Now, all we have to do down here is put the missing fraction. So 1/3 is equal to how many 6? So I'm going to look for my 1/3. 1/3 is equal to 2, 6. They're in the same circle. Right? All right, here they gave me 4, 6. So I need to find my 4, 6, which is right here. And that is 2 thirds. 2 thirds. And then 0 thirds is equal to 0, 6. And that's how you would solve that. So like I said, my recommendation is fill in the fractions first and then go ahead and circle them so you can quickly see the equivalent fraction. Once again, friends, thank you for taking the time for learning with Mrs. Thomas, and I'll see you next time. Good luck, and I know you're going to do great. Bye.